no matter what you do, somebody's always going to have something to say. For example, regarding weight, right? If you lose weight, someone's going to be like, oh, lost weight. But if you gain weight, someone's going to be like, what the right? If you want to start something new, if you have an idea, you want to create a product, start a channel, people are going to think you're crazy. People are going to laugh at you. But if you were to never start, people are gonna wonder why you never tried, or people are gonna wonder like, hey, whatever happened to that one thing you wanted to do? So it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. So if you're gonna be judged either way, why not just live the life you actually want? Now, I know everybody hears the cliche sayings of, just be yourself, express yourself, don't care what other people think. Cool, right? I wouldn't say it's exactly sound advice. It's just things we've always heard, but we don't know how to actually apply it. Nobody teaches you it. Because the truth is, we all present ourselves differently. On our family, if you have a significant other, that's another one. Friends, coworkers, classmates, what have you, right? That's normal because our different environments and different people bring out different parts and personalities of who we are. That's it's fine. That's normal. But there's a difference between adapting and pretending, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act all like, you know, I'm confident and stuff. Like, we all have our good days and bad days. Growing up, I wanted approval from everybody. Maybe because I was the youngest in my family for the longest time. And I always wanted the older kids, in school to be like, damn, this little dude's cool. I really like him. I wanted that approval, that that validation, that feeling of being accepted. So when high school came around, everybody wanted to be their own little hot shot, right? Everybody wanted to be their own version of Mr. Cool. So what did I do? I tried to match that energy, that nonchalant type of beat. you know, I tried acting cooler than what I really was. Looking back, sometimes you kind of just cringe at yourself, like, what the fuck I even do that? And honestly, I think a lot of us do that. You know, we live in a society where it's fake it till you make it. People do that. People change themselves and mold themselves just to fit into a group and to get validation from the people that they perceive as cool. And I think there are two traps we tend to fall into as humans. Number one is caring what they think, and then number two is thinking that they care. Because the truth is, man, people are just too damn busy living their own lives. A lot of the time, we're stressing over conversations people already forgot about 5 minutes ago, right? We're usually just in our own heads, man. We're replaying stuff in our head that nobody else is thinking about. So eventually, you gotta ask yourself, who am I actually living for? And am I making all these life decisions because I want to, or because I want to be perceived a certain way, because I want to be, seeking the approval of somebody else. And then rhetorically, you got to ask yourself in silence when you're alone, do I even like myself when nobody else is watching me? Because at the end of the day, you're the one who makes the decisions, but you have to live with the decisions you make. Not your friends, your family, significant other, your coworkers, classmates, whatever. Not even the people online, because fuck them. On Reddit, one day I was scrolling and I came upon something that was like, do good, they'll talk, do bad, they'll talk. So do you and let them talk. I don't know who wrote it, but I wrote that shit down. Thought it was fire. Because it's true. People are a double edged sword, right? Some people will love you, and those very people who love you could hate you. And then some people will hate you, and then, they could also love you at the end of the day. Bro, even Jesus had haters, man. And he came on earth and still he did what he needed to do. So, why are we so afraid of people who don't even know us, man? People be acting like they're all perfect and high and mighty and shit. People judge like they're perfect. And dog, I don't want to hear it, man. A lot of people cast stones from glass homes. Some of y'all don't put your fucking Target shopping carts back. So I don't want to hear it. Y'all need to relax. And so let's go back to that weight example, right? So let's say someone's overweight, right? And so New Year comes around, and typically that's the year where everybody's like, New Year, new me, and they make all these goals, and they want to have like a hot bod for summer, whatever, right? But let's say this guy says to himself, you know what, I want to lose 30 pounds. And then he finally gets that courage to go to the gym. And then I know damn well, not everyone, but I know damn well someone's gonna be like, look at this fat fuck, or look at this guy. Damn, how the hell is this guy so huge, right? It happens, right? It just is what it is. But if that guy were to never go and he goes to Target, right, and people see him walking around, someone's gonna be like, bro, this dude needs to lose some weight. He needs to do some cardio, something, man. How can you walk around like that? See, it is damned if you do and damned if you don't. Now, let's say this guy 6 months later said, fuck all y'all. I'm gonna keep doing me. I'm gonna be on my grind, right? Let's say he loses 40 pounds. Now, those same people are like, damn, dog, you lost hella weight, bro. What did you do, man? You gotta show me your routine, you know? And that's so funny how it works. And probably, well, I wouldn't say probably. It could be possible for someone to be perceived as ugly and then all of a sudden they're good looking or attractive. It's just funny how that works. Because a lot of the times, people don't respect the humble beginnings, the hustle, the whole grind to get to where they are right now. They only respect the results, and that's also applicable to relationships, man. Not all relationships, but there are relationships where people only want a finished product, and it's fucked up, right? It is what it is. But this is just human behavior. This is how people are, right? People only respect the results. But you can't win if your goal is making everybody happy. The only way you truly win, though, is just by doing you, focusing on yourself and ignoring the noise. Be like that hypothetical guy who lost 40 pounds and said, fuck y'all. All right. But don't get me wrong, first impressions, appearance, hygiene, the way you smell, all of that matters. I'm not saying, do you and then completely neglect yourself because, dog, PSA, please wash your ass. Please wear deodorant. I work in a hospital. I've smelled things that I wish I could unsmell. And some of my patients genuinely can't shower every day because it's not safe for them. And that's completely different compared to if you're healthy and you have an abled body. Bro, take care of yourself. Please brush your teeth, shower, wear some deodorant, love yourself enough to put in effort into taking care of your body. And that's not seeking validation and approval from me or from anybody else. That's just self-respect, bro. And honestly, one of the things that I'm doing as a form of self-respect is this channel, man. It's my leap of faith. I know it's tiny right now, and I know barely anybody watches, man. I know that, and that's okay, because for the first time in a long time, I'm making something because I genuinely want to, and I think it's very different, right? This is something that I've done on a whim. I've always wanted to do it, but I never did it, and one day I just did it on a whim. Not because it's cool or I think I'm gonna be uh, some hot shot that'll go viral. No, I did it because I enjoy it. And something I realize is sometimes your courage reminds people of the chances they never took. They see somebody taking a chance, chasing a goal, changing their life. And instead of asking, man, maybe I should do that too. You inspired me, bro. you get criticized. You know, it's easier to criticize. Not because they hate you, but because your actions force them to reflect on themselves. Because it's easier to judge someone else than to ask yourself why you haven't started. And honestly, on another note, a lot of the time we're just in our own heads, man. We just need to do us, man. We need to focus on ourselves and just lock in. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's just focused on themselves. You know, they're doing their own main storyline. They got their own missions, battles, problems, and most of the time, we're just a side quest in someone else's game. Sorry, it is what it is. So, why are we letting side characters dictate how we live our life, bro? How we write our story? And if they judge you, or if they judge me, they were gonna do it anyway. You're not responsible for meeting everyone's expectations. So let them be disappointed, man. Because sometimes choosing yourself means someone else won't understand. And becoming the best version of yourself comes with a lot of goodbyes. And that's okay. People are allowed to have their opinion, and you're allowed to live your life. So, like I said earlier, I'd rather be judged for being myself than loved for being a poser, for being someone I'm pretending to be, you know? And that's a trade I'm willing to make all day. Because at the end of the day, you can't please everybody, and that's okay. People are always going to have something to say. They always have, and they always will. So please, stop trying to build a life that impresses everybody else and start building one you're actually proud of. Cultivate good thoughts, put in good energy into the world, set goals that actually matter to you, and keep putting one foot in front of the other. Let them talk while you walk the walk. I'm going to keep moving forward, and I hope you do too. Until next time, stay grounded, keep swinging, and don't get caught on the web. I'll catch y'all in the next one.